everyone.
Hello.
So welcome to our Q&A video. It was a couple of weeks ago now that we in fact more than that, a few weeks ago that we asked you to give us some questions at the bottom of our, I think it was our Kashmiran video.
Yeah.
And some of you did that, thank you. And also we got some questions on Instagram.
Yeah, if you're not following us on Instagram, please follow us, the link's below.
So we thought we'd tackle some of those
Yes,
questions.
there's lots. So we're probably going to split this video into two parts over a couple of weeks. We're just going to start though, we're going to preface all the questions by saying, I'm not sure if some of you are newer here, you realise kind of what our day jobs are and why we speak about certain things and not other things.
Because there was a couple of questions about brands that we don't work with and we can't answer those.
Yes, so we work for a UK distributor. We have many different brands and we both work in training, and so we only on our channel talk about the brands that we work with. But as we said, that is a huge amount, so there is a lot to work with, but that's why we won't answer questions on other things sometimes. So don't think we're just ignoring you.
Okay, so should we kick off with the first question? These aren't in any particular order, but the first question is from Fatima El Kua, and it's what's your top pick from every female perfume wardrobe?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Let's talk about perfume wardrobes.
Yes. So perfume wardrobe is a really nice idea. It's having a perfume collection that's a bit like your clothes collection. So thinking that you wouldn't wear the same pair of shoes every day or the same dress every day, in the same way you wouldn't wear the same fragrance. So we have something for every occasion. Yeah,
definitely. And actually I was looking at my own perfume collection last night and I was thinking, wow, you know, if I look at it, I've got something that makes me feel quite sensual and sexy.
Yeah.
I've got something else that's quite fresh and clean. I've got something else that I wear when I want to feel empowered. I've got things that I tend to wear in the summer. Those are more, in fact, one summer fragrance I love is the Flagrant Delice fragrance from By Terry. Very fig and green and fresh. But then there are other fragrances I wear just for the winter.
Yes.
So, like, again, by Terry, I love Rouge Nocturne, but I don't necessarily wear it in the hot weather because it's quite deep.
Yes.
So I tend to have seasons and occasions.
Yeah, I definitely have like feelings as well. So I definitely have fragrances that are like safe for me, that I just feel like comforted in, or fragrances that are a bit more like I need to be confident fragrances. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have things that you've had for years, like I always talk about Elie Saab, that's a fragrance that I've worn for years and it just makes me feel like safe and confident and sure, so I would spray that that one on. But yeah, I think you need something for every occasion and all the different, well, you don't need to have all the different fragrance families, but if you really want a big wardrobe, you know, a musky fragrance, a spicy, a citrus, a floral,
yeah, exactly.
I hope that helps.
Don't be afraid to experiment as well. We were chatting with somebody that we met a few weeks ago now, where they were saying that actually they do tend to stick, they know what they like and they stick to that.
Yeah.
But the problem is it's like you just having a wardrobe full of black clothes.
Yeah.
You know, you want to have
branch
some
out
colour in there. Okay. So, next question. This is from Christina P. How can a regular person, such as myself, get hold of an individual perfume ingredients? So she says, I'm always confused as to which notes I like or don't like and would love to recognise at least some of the ingredients in the perfumes I smell.
Yes. Okay, so first of all, you can get hold of individual notes. I'm not sure whereabouts you live in the world, but there are a few websites that you can buy from, so we will link those below. But also saying that, there's so much that you can smell in nature.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just go into the garden or go into the park and understand, you know, put your nose to the different roses that you encounter. Understand what it smells like when you smell moss on a forest floor.
Or spices when you're cooking.
Exactly.
You know,
get to know them.
Yeah, I kind of really developed a love for orange blossom because I went to Marrakesh and it was everywhere there naturally, and I loved that. So now I search for those fragrances. So yes, there are things that you can't find in nature, particularly if you don't live in a country where a lot of stuff grows. So you can buy those, but there is a lot that you can find out there.
So many perfumers are inspired by nature. You know, and if you can identify some of those things, you'll know what you love.
Okay. Next up, we have a question from Arden Powers. Hello, one of our regular watchers. Thank you. How do you both guide people in determining fragrance choices for a signature scent? So a wedding, a date night, or a special occasion. I know it took me years to find fragrances that suited my personality and were also right for the occasion, gender, age group, etc.
Right. Wow.
Yes.
So
how do we do that?
I tend to ask a lot of questions.
Yes.
So if I'm doing a fragrance consultation with somebody, the first thing I would ask them actually is, what do they already wear? Is there a perfume that they love, or different perfumes, and what is it that they love about those? And it doesn't even matter if the person can't say, oh, I love jasmine, and that's what I really, really turns me on.
Yeah.
But it's just more of a feeling. So what do you get from that fragrance that you love about it? And then I would try and drill down more through, like, do you want something fresh or warm? Do you want something, so you're kind of this or that?
Choice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then if they say fresh, okay, so an oceanic freshness or a citrus freshness.
Yeah.
So that kind of drilling down of info.
Yeah, I would definitely say I would go on what the feeling that you want to have. So do you want to feel sexy? Do you want to feel fresh and clean? Do you want something that feels warm? And you can even sometimes, what's quite nice is like relate the fragrance to a colour. So, or a piece of clothing or something. So do you want a fragrance that's more like a pretty summer dress or more like a power suit? You know, that kind of thing. And it's just about getting to know. So when we're doing a consultation, it's about us getting to know that person. Yeah. But for you, you want to make sure that you really understand what you like and how you want to feel. And hopefully there might be a sales assistant that can help you in the store as well to identify.
Yeah. Okay. Next question, Cat B says, who are your favourite perfumers working today? Do you have an answer?
So there's so many that it's kind of hard to narrow down, and what often happens is that there's perfumers and some of the stuff they've done I really like and some of it is not for me, as with anything like fashion as well. The person who I would say kind of I find quite inspiring would be Mathilde Laurent, who's the in-house perfumer at Cartier, partly because she's a woman and there aren't many female perfumers. No. There are more coming in. I
was going to say traditionally that it tends to be a masculine job, but now you do get a few more.
Yeah, so I like that. She's very dynamic. She's very like trying to break the boundaries and do different things with her fragrances, particularly her Les Heures collection, which are quite an exclusive collection. You can't find in many places. She's done some crazy fragrances that no one has ever thought of before. So I quite like her.
Yeah, another woman I like is Christine Nagel, because she's made things like Jimmy Choo Flash, which I go back to time and time again. She's made Eau de Cartier, which I also really like. She also co-made with Francis Kurkdjian the Narciso for her, as original for her fragrances, which I still love. And also still on Narciso, actually, the fragrances that I've been wearing more often recently are the Narciso, the square bottles, the Eau de Parfum, the Eau de Toilette, the Poudre, and Aurélien Guichard made those. He often does something quite sexy.
So that's just a few. There's lots out there.
Who's next?
Okay, so from A Look, what are your thoughts about perfumes in different mediums? So solids, oils, powders, etc.
I had a look at the Elizabeth and James solid perfume the other day for my handbag. I was going to buy that because actually I quite like those non-spillable versions.
True, and quite light as well, not a heavy bottle. So that's what I'd first of all say, is that those other versions are quite good for portability, things like solids and little oils, or
rollables.
But they're also great for layering. I don't think there's anything that takes away from an actual kind of eau de parfum or parfum, the oil with the alcohol, that is the best for me.
The traditional spray.
Yes. Okay. But the other things add to it, make it last longer, help you touch it up throughout the day.
Well, quite often with oil, I might mix perfumed oil with the body lotion.
Yeah.
And then I just find that that goes on in a really nice consistency and also adds to that layering effect that Sarah was talking about.
Definitely.
So they definitely have their place.
Yeah. Also, if you're allergic, like maybe to alcohol, when you spray normal fragrance on, that could be an alternative. Would be to use like one of the body products of fragrance in a different way instead.
Good. Okay. Next question is from Roxana Soare. Apologies if I have mispronounced. She would like to hear about resins, balsams, gums, etc. in perfume. It's so confusing. What is the difference between them all? Why do they have different names? I feel this could be an actual video.
Yes, so we'll keep this in mind, and we do maybe one of our like fragrance family ingredient videos on this. But how do we explain this?
Well,
a lot of them
are
the same thing. Yeah. So a resin is like the sap from a plant that is then hardened, and I think that's what you'd also call a gum as well.
And it might be that comes from a natural or a synthetic source, but the idea, the inspiration behind it is that kind of rich and warm facet in fragrance. Okay. Next question, Elgonsk. Maybe that's wrongly pronounced, apologies. Could you name a couple of international brands that use mostly natural ingredients for their perfumes?
Okay, so this is kind of a big topic because the whole thing of natural versus synthetic. I'm guessing you maybe asked this because you want to wear something that has a lot of naturals in it, and I don't know why that is particularly. Maybe it's for kind of I don't know. Well, maybe it's because your skin, maybe you've had allergies to
but then people have allergies to natural ingredients as well.
Or maybe it's for kind of moral reasons that you'd rather use things that are natural.
There has been a school of thought, hasn't there, Sarah, about naturals being better than synthetics. I don't know where it came from, but it's kind of a hangover maybe from a few years ago. I don't really feel like that's the case, particularly when you look at creative perfumery. I actually think that we wouldn't have the choice in perfumery that we have today if you didn't have synthetics.
Completely. What you're going to find is all the brands that we work with and pretty much all the brands that are in your average kind of department store perfumery, a huge amount of the ingredients in there will be synthetically made. Some because it's no longer possible to get them naturally, because they're rare, they're very expensive, they come from very obscure places, or it might be that they're not safe naturally. So there's a lot of things that have been now like regulated.
They've got allergens in them or whatever.
For allergen reasons. So the perfumes have had to come up with alternatives synthetically.
Or the fragrance can't be extracted naturally. You know,
exactly.
If you take sunflowers, for example, you can't actually distill the flower and get that faithful smell from it. You have to do it in a synthetic way to recreate what nature smells like in the ground.
And there's so many things that we wouldn't have if it wasn't for synthetics. You know, notes like chocolate and vodka and, you know, all this kind of thing is an amazing creation with synthetics. So I don't think I can really give you an international brand that uses mostly naturals. I don't know, maybe if some of you others in the community know, you could help out by leaving some comments. I think don't be scared of synthetics, but obviously I don't know your reasons behind wanting to use natural.
Okay. So next question, we'll do a couple more, I think.
Yeah.
So from Hisham Safan from Malaysia. So
Malaysia,
long way away from us. What are your suggestions for fragrances that are perfect to wear in a tropical climate? I don't feel very tropical today in the UK.
No, we don't know much about tropical climates.
It's a bit dull and rainy here.
Yeah, I have occasionally been to one a long time ago. And I would say that I would wear something fresh and kind of lighter and cleaner, sharper smelling.
Yeah, because I think, I'm just thinking about when I go on holiday, I want that emotion of smelling refreshed.
Yeah.
So I actually sometimes choose, there is one I often take on holiday, and that's Un Matin d'Orage by Annick Goutal. And that actually, the whole idea was the fresh gardenia after the monsoon, after the rain had been in the garden, and you know that lovely kind of freshness that you get after rain, where everything seems to smell quite lovely and transparent.
I quite like actually the Low collection from Serge Lutens as well, which is all about water, and there's some quite metallic, like sharp fragrances in there, which would be nice in the hot weather.
Good. Okay, let's do one more from Esther O, who says, "Are your videos scripted?"
No,
I probably can tell. This is not scripted. We do chat.
Yes, so when we know what we're going to film, we talk about our ideas, and we maybe write a couple of like bullet points of things we want to make sure we cover. But they're not. We don't have like a script that we read off. So we hope that that gives a good balance between being natural, but also not just rambling on for hours. We may have done that in the past sometimes. So but remember that for our jobs, we are trainers, so we are quite used to having to talk to people about a subject in a relatively structured way. You can be the judge of whether we're any good at that. So
Thank you for everyone that submitted a question. Like we said at the beginning, this is part 1. We've got some more questions on our sheet, so we'll leave this video there for today, but then we'll stay in our seats and reset the camera for part 2, so join us for that in probably a couple of weeks.
Yes. Thank you so much. See you next week.
Bye.